friend of mine just found the comment. And this is the comment right here. It really goes to show how crazy and stupid you can be when you're in a globe cult. 5 years ago, Red Pill Philosophy, I left this comment: why is the moon spherical? The moon is spherical, but Earth isn't?
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and if you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. There are going to be a lot more videos to come, as Flat Earth isn't going away that fast, unfortunately. So this is Red Pill Philosophy. I call him the Flat Earth Hipster. That's what I'm going to refer to him as for the remainder of the video, and probably for the remainder of my life. If you listen to him long enough, 2 minutes or so, you'll hear him mention that he has a high IQ. In that 2 minutes, you're likely to hear it 20 times. You're also likely to hear buzzwords like cult and retard, high IQ skeptic, stuff like that. Let me set the stage for this first video. 5 years ago, back when he was a self-avowed low IQ globe believer, he watched a Flat Earth video and left a surprisingly decent comment that Flat Earthers struggle to answer. Yeah, it's a common response because it makes sense. Why would gravity cause matter to act a certain way in literally every direction we look, except for the planet we live on? It's a pretty basic question, but it's a good one. We'll check out another video of his later where he talks about other possible shapes the Earth could be, and he'll illustrate that he clearly doesn't understand why things are round in the first place. Shocking, I know.
5 years ago, I left this comment, and isn't this one of the most common uninitiated globe cultist response? Well, all the other planets are a certain shape, so Earth must be spherical like all the other planets, right? And it's just amazing to see how far you can come when you start using high IQ skepticism, really.
So there it is again. Is this dude not the cringiest you've ever seen in your life? Anyway, so there's a reason that things assume a spherical shape, Hipster. It's to have the least amount of potential energy. It happens with drops of water, dwarf planets, regular planets. You'll always be a planet in my heart, Pluto. Stars, elliptical galaxies, black holes, the list goes on. Literally on and on and on. The point is, it's not a random occurrence that almost every body we see in the universe is spherical. All of the matter in an object wants to be the closest to the center as it can possibly be. Things naturally make spheres. He doesn't understand this, or he chooses not to, but it's a good thing that he's going to remind us that he has a high IQ. Over and 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 over.
It just like, it's amazing how much your mind and your thinking can change when you become a high IQ skeptic. So there it is. Why is the moon spherical? The moon is spherical, but Earth isn't 5 years ago. And these are the impulsive kinds of comments and reactions that people generally leave in response to Flat Earth.
That's because most people are smarter than you.
I went from using those arguments to debunking those arguments when people use them against me now all the time. Let me just destroy that right now. Well, this is an appeal to similarity, and you're trying to suggest that if all the other planets are a certain shape, then Earth has to be just like all the other planets. And the problem with that, of course, is that mainstream science admits that Earth is nothing like anything else in the known universe. They've never found anything like it.
This is how he debunks things. He says word salad that doesn't really explain anything. There have been hundreds of planets that have been found to be rocky, in the Goldilocks zone, which is not too hot, not too cold, that have water vapor in their atmospheres. Literally hundreds, if not thousands at this point.
Okay, Earth is the only planet to harbor life and consciousness. Nothing like it. Nothing like this blue marble gem that they admit we live on. There's nothing they found like it.
Apparently, the flat earth hipster is a fan of logical fallacies, so this one's called a hasty generalization. It's basically a conclusion based off of insufficient or biased evidence. In other words, you're rushing to a conclusion before you have all the relevant facts.
Why is the moon spherical? The moon is spherical, but Earth isn't. So it's just really stunning to see where high IQ skepticism can take your mind. I mean, you can go from being a low IQ Globe cult member, brainwashed by bad arguments, and then you can just 5 years later you can actually be a high IQ skeptic. So it's incredible.
Brainwashed by bad arguments. Oh, the irony is so thick. It's so good.
Because everybody's heard of flat earther, and we've all heard about the idea of flat earth and falling off the edge. That's how it's always presented, because they try to make it deliberately absurd. But no, the actual fact that there's an actual argument and a debate taking place over this very subject, no, I mean, I didn't hear about that apparently at least as early as 5 years ago. So
that's about all the interesting parts of that video. Notice that his response 5 years later, after he became a quote-unquote high IQ flat earther, had no capitalization, no punctuation, and was even missing a word. Congratulations, man. Your mother must be really proud. This next video was shot in his car, where he's presumably on his way to work or back home to his mom's basement, but he's attempting to theory craft the reason that we've been taught the Earth is a globe and not a cube or a pyramid. It's pretty hilarious, so let's check it out.
So why they had to put us on a globe and not on a cube or a triangular prism? Why a globe? You know, I mean, hey, the universe could have exploded out of a big bang, put us on a globe. They could have put us on a triangular prism. Hey, you know, really, the laws of physics could have conspired to put us on just about anything.
You know, I hate to beat a dead horse, unless that horse is a flat earther and then beat away, but once again, he's illustrating that he has no idea why things make spheres. I certainly hope he watches this. Maybe he'll learn something. I doubt it, because he's a high IQ flat earther, and high IQ flat earthers apparently don't learn anything, regardless of how many times they're told the same thing over and over and over again.
So nothing's really out of the question. There's no reason that a globe is any more preposterous than a flat earth, or any more preposterous than a cube or a triangular prism. But why a globe? Why a globe? Well, here's the thing about a globe is that if they had told us we lived on a cube, it would have posed a serious problem. Because at some point on this cube Earth, you'd be able to go and behold the edge of one of the edges of the cube. You'd be able to go on a trip and behold the corner of the cube. Imagine getting to one of the edges of the cube and there's a very sharp and pronounced corner, edge.
There's that irony again. You mean like an edge, you know, like on the edge of a flat disk floating in space?
That if you traverse to the other side, you're now on the other plane, and you know it's probably gravity that keeps it all in place, whatever. You can concoct any theories you want. But that's a problem, isn't it? Because, you know, there's 6 sides to a cube, and, you know, you got all these corners and all these edges. Those would be very easy landmarks to spot. And people would be able to go and falsify or prove that we, in fact, live on a cube Earth. It'd be very easy to do it. Unless they had an Antarctic Treaty for the cube, and every single corner and edge was blocked off because for science and for the penguins, which is essentially what the Antarctic Treaty stated purpose is, to protect science and penguins. Yeah, right.
Oh, this is a good one. The Antarctic Treaty. Flat earthers love to say that the Antarctic Treaty prevents everybody from going there because they basically think that Antarctica is really an ice wall that surrounds the flat earth, keeping the water from falling off. They really believe that. Which kind of contradicts their other theory that there's a glass dome above the earth. Anyway, basically, here's what the Antarctic Treaty says. Article 1 says that it should be used for peaceful purposes only. You can't put a military base on Antarctica. Article 2 says that it should be used for science because it has billions of years of history in the ice. Nowhere in the Antarctic Treaty does it say anything about nobody going there. It's got 14 articles. You can read them. Look it up on Wikipedia. It doesn't say anything about not going there. The reason people don't go there is because it's cold. Very, very cold. It's the most inhospitable place on the planet. People have gone there. They go there all the time. There's probably people there right now. People have tried to cross it on foot, and they died because it's cold. It's like a -100 degrees down there. You don't go there because you can't live there. It's the only continent that doesn't have a natural human settlement there. There's a reason for that. And it's not because the UN is going to shoot you.
If they told us we lived on a cube, that'd be a really tough one to sell, because you can go and find that very distinct corner edge before you get onto the next side of the cube Earth. And if you think that sounds preposterous, well, don't worry, because we have gravity, and gravity is the reason you don't fall off the side of a cube, because it sticks you in place. Cube Earth makes perfect sense. Just add enough gravity, maybe a little bit of axial tilt, maybe a little bit of equatorial bulge, and you got yourself a working model. You just got to tweak it enough to match our observations, and you're good. But a globe is conveniently way, way harder to falsify, because on a globe you have this perfectly ever-sloping, smooth surface, constantly curving at just the perfect rate where it eventually loops back on itself in what we call a circle shape or a sphere. And if the globe is just big enough, then it will look flat locally. If the globe is just big enough, it will look flat on a local scale. When you look out at the ocean.
He's actually right here. If the sphere you're on is big enough, it actually looks flat locally. Here's an experiment someone did to prove that a basketball is flat, using the same logic. So he brought up the ocean and how it looks flat. The horizon looks flat, which is true, it does, but there's an oldie but a goodie that says that you can see a boat going over the horizon bottom first. It'll basically sink. They've been saying that for hundreds and hundreds of years, long before the Illuminati took over. Flat earthers think that if you get a good enough camera, like a Nikon P1000, that you can super zoom things back into view, and that proves that they haven't gone over a curve, and they think that proves the flat earth. Well, basically, they can't see far enough to see things go over the curve unless the boat is enormous. So you're not proving that there is no curve, you're proving that human eyeballs can't see far enough, and that the earth is enormous as well. Nice try, though. That was pretty good. I mean, hell, I think it was Jeranism that proved that there was a curve in Behind the Curve, the movie on Netflix. Everybody should watch. It's hilarious.
28,000 feet high. So if the globe is big enough, you can get away with saying that it's actually flat on a local level, the way we all see and experience it. And you wouldn't have to worry about any pesky corners or sharp edges the way you have on a cube Earth or a triangular prism Earth. The globe is perfectly unfalsifiable. The globe is perfectly unfalsifiable. It's just a perfect shape that locally, no matter where you are at any point, even at 128,000 feet altitude, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, it will look flat. But on cube Earth, or triangular prism Earth, or rectangular prism Earth, you run into a problem. With this six-sided cube Earth, you have all these corners, you have all these sharp edges. You don't have a gradual, just conveniently unfalsifiable curvature that looks flat locally, but is technically a curve, as they claim.
A couple thousand years ago, there was a guy named Eratosthenes that was born in Alexandria, Egypt, and he did an experiment where he measured the circumference of the Earth. He was off a little bit, but this was 2,000 years ago. People have known the planet was a sphere for thousands of years, long before anybody invented Satan or the Illuminati or any other boogeyman you want to use to scare people and make them think that the wool is pulled over their eyes if they believe that it's a globe. Mainstream science. Not even mainstream science, just science. Math, pictures, everything indicates that we live on a globe. Gravity works. Even if you don't believe in gravity, gravity works, and it would not work on a flat plane, which is why they have to say that the Earth is moving upwards at 9.8 meters per second squared, which is funny because eventually you'd reach light speed. We're not moving at light speed. Anyway, forgive me if I quote The Princess Bride and say, "You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means." That word is falsifiable, or unfalsifiable. Oddly, the flat Earth and their theory about it is unfalsifiable, because if there's a giant ice wall and a UN army with military attack boats that are going to kill you if you try to go there, and then a dome over the top like a snow globe that prevents you from going into outer space to take a picture of it, that makes it unfalsifiable. It's just like, is there an afterlife? Well, I don't know. Nobody does. If they tell you they do, they're lying to you or trying to sell you something. Nobody knows until you die. That's unfalsifiable. This guy gives me a headache. Anyway, this video is really long, so I'll end it here. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, as there will be many, many more. If you hated the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, as there are going to be many, many more. Please consider sharing it with your friends. Give them a laugh. Maybe they've never heard of the flat Earth. Maybe they think people are normal. I don't know. But until next time, have a good day.